Welcome to SS2 English Language. This lesson covers drama analysis, how to identify and discuss themes in a play and how to understand stagecraft, the theatrical and technical elements that make a drama work on stage. Both are essential for WAEC English literature and language examinations. A theme is a central idea or message explored throughout a work of literature. A play may have one dominant theme and several secondary themes. Identifying themes requires you to look beyond the surface story, the plot, to the deeper meanings and ideas the playwright is exploring. Common themes in Nigerian and West African drama include the conflict between tradition and modernity, the tension between indigenous customs and the changes brought by colonialism, Christianity, and Western education, the struggle for political power and the abuse of that power, social justice, the experience of the poor, the marginalized, or women in patriarchal societies, family loyalty and betrayal, the supernatural and its intersection with human life, the individual versus the community. When identifying themes, always support your identification with specific evidence from the play, a scene, a speech, a character's choice or fate. Do not simply list themes, explain how the playwright develops each theme through character, plot, and dramatic language. Stagecraft refers to the technical and theatrical elements a playwright uses to create the dramatic experience. Understanding stagecraft helps you understand how a play works beyond its written text. Key elements of stagecraft: stage directions, the playwright's instructions to actors and directors about movement, emotion, setting, and technical effects. Stage directions appear in italics or brackets in the published text. They reveal what the playwright intends that the spoken words cannot communicate. Soliloquy, a speech in which a character speaks their private thoughts aloud to the audience, even though other characters on stage cannot hear. Soliloquies give the audience privileged access to a character's inner life. Aside, similar to a soliloquy but shorter, a brief remark addressed directly to the audience that other characters cannot hear. Dramatic irony, when the audience knows something that a character in the play does not. This creates tension, anticipation, or dark humor. Conflict, the engine of drama. Conflict may be between characters, within a character's own mind, between an individual and society, or between a character and supernatural forces. Climax, the moment of greatest tension in the play, when the central conflict reaches its peak. Resolution or denouement, the outcome after the climax where conflicts are resolved. Setting, time and place create atmosphere and establish context. Costume, lighting, and music enhance meaning in performance. Let us apply these analytical tools to The Lion and the Jewel by Wole Soyinka, a Nigerian play widely studied for WAEC. The play is set in the Yoruba village of Ilujina and dramatizes a conflict between Baroka, the old village chief, and Lakona, a young school teacher, both seeking to marry Sidi, a beautiful village girl. Theme 1, Tradition versus Modernity. Lakona represents uncritical adoption of Western values. He is embarrassed by traditional practices and refuses to pay the bride price, calling it primitive. Baroka represents tradition, cunning and deeply embedded in Yoruba custom. The irony is that Soyinka does not simply endorse either position. Baroka, for all his traditionalism, is cunning and manipulative. Lakona, for all his progressive language, is comically ineffective. Soyinka uses both characters to satirize their respective positions. Theme 2, Power and Manipulation. Baroka outwits Lakona and seduces Sidi through a deliberate deception. He pretends to be sexually impotent to lure Sidi into testing him in private. His stagecraft, his manipulation of circumstances, ultimately wins Sidi. Soyinka uses mime sequences and traditional dances within the play to comment on the themes, a self-conscious stagecraft choice that brings African theatrical tradition into the dramatic text. Dramatic irony. The audience knows Baroka's deception before Sidi does. We watch as she walks into his trap, creating tension and dark comedy. The resolution, Sidi choosing to marry Baroka, is deliberately ambiguous. Is it a victory for tradition, or a defeat of female agency? For WAEC examinations, when writing about drama, address theme, character, dramatic technique, and stagecraft. Use the PE method, point, evidence, explanation, as you would for any literary analysis. When analyzing themes, name the theme, identify where it is developed in the play, and explain how the playwright's choices, plot events, character speeches, stagecraft develop or complicate the theme. Useful sentence starters. Soyinka explores the theme of, through the character of, who, the conflict between tradition and modernity is dramatized when, the use of dramatic irony in this scene creates, because, the stage direction indicates, which signals, the soliloquy reveals. Today we covered that drama analysis requires identifying themes, central ideas explored through plot, character, and language, and understanding stagecraft, the theatrical elements that make drama work. Key stagecraft elements include stage directions, soliloquy, aside, dramatic irony, conflict, climax, and resolution. Analyzing The Lion and the Jewel by Wole Soyinka reveals themes of tradition versus modernity and power and manipulation, developed through character contrast, dramatic irony, and Soyinka's integration of Yoruba theatrical forms. For your practice exercise, identify one theme in any play you are studying and write 3 PE paragraphs explaining how the playwright develops that theme through character, plot, and dramatic language.